Now, journalist Julie Cook revealed in a recent column that she's blunt with her partner when it comes to weight gain. She described noticing a slight paunch where her husband's flatter tummy used to be. And she told him, get yourself down the gym.
So the question we're asking this morning, should you call out your partner on weight gain, or is it simply something you shouldn't comment on? Joining us to discuss this, we have culture expert Nick Eade, who says we need to be honest with our partners. This is ultimately what healthy relationships are built on.
But actress Linda Lusardi says if you're in a loving relationship, it shouldn't matter what size they are. But Linda, of course...
What kind of bullshit is that? If you're in a loving relationship, show your partner some respect and take your ass to the gym and work off the weight that you've gained. I mean, I'm not saying leave your partner because they gained weight. I don't believe that. But if you're getting fat, first of all, it's unhealthy. There's a health risk with getting fat. Secondly, it does show a lack of self-respect, and it shows a lack of respect to your partner that you don't have enough decency to keep yourself in a shape that will attract them. I mean, they got with you in a certain way. Yeah, you have your ups and downs. Women get pregnant. You know, people get stressed out. People put on weight. But if you're not going to take yourself to the gym and sort yourself out, why can I not say that to you? Do you not agree with me?
I agree that your partner can tell you, I think you're getting a bit big, you should lose weight. But I disagree with you saying it's a lack of respect for your partner by not doing it.
Of course it is.
I disagree.
If you get with someone, Sab, in your current state and you gain 50 pounds and you don't even address it, you don't think that's a lack of respect for them and yourself?
I think, what's 50 pounds? Like, how big is that?
You'd be significantly bigger. You won't look the same.
Like, what, obese?
I don't know if you'd be obese because you're quite petite, but
I
you would definitely look very different.
I just think that you, in sickness and in health,
No, I didn't say leave
rich or
them.
for poor, you know, you should love your partner for who they are. And just because they've gained weight doesn't mean they've got no respect for you because they don't want to go gym. It's their life.
Okay, I said it shows a lack of respect.
I don't think it does show
respect.
a lack of respect, though. Why are you being disrespectful to your partner because you've gained weight?
So if you get with somebody that is in shape and they balloon out and they get fat,
I would not class that as a lack of respect for me.
what would you class that as?
I'd class it as they've let themselves go.
Do you not think there's a reason that could point to it being a lack of respect for the relationship?
They say that when you're in a healthy relationship, you gain weight.
Yeah, that's true. When you're in a healthy relationship, you can go to restaurants, you can eat, you can gain a few pounds. But if one person is getting out of shape, I think that it's okay to say to your partner, hey, I love you, but you need to sort this shit out.
I agree that you should be able to say something to your partner and they shouldn't get offended because by all means you have gained weight. It may not be in a good way, but I don't agree solely with the point of view saying it's a lack of respect for your partner by not going to the gym and losing the weight.
Okay. Do you think it's so you think it's not a lack of self-respect, let's say at 20 pounds? What about 100?
How big's 100 pounds? Like what? Like the
if
big
I
show?
put on 100 pounds, I would be unrecognizable to most people. And let's say we were dating and you started dating me in my shape now, and then I put on that much weight, and it's not because I'm stressed or anything. Let's say we're making tons of money, we're living the good life. You're making an effort to keep yourself prim and proper, and I'm just there gorging myself on cakes. You don't think there's a lack of self-respect?
I would say that I'd get frustrated in terms of you're killing yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's disrespectful towards me if you don't want to do anything about it.
But you're killing yourself and you're in a committed relationship. So on that basis alone, it's disrespectful, no?
I wouldn't class it as disrespectful, no.
What would you class it as?
Maybe I could class it as negligence.
Isn't negligence in a relationship?
Lack of care, but I wouldn't say it's disrespectful.
Okay, let's forget about weight gain for a second. If I was negligent to you in other areas of a relationship, or if I didn't show care, wouldn't that be a lack of self-respect
That's
disrespect
towards me? That's not something that's your own personal thing.
But if we're in a relationship, we share everything, right? and you are going to have to go to bed with me, wake up next to me. If I'm just putting weight on, how is that not towards you? You're expected to just love me and care for me.
It's not disrespectful is my point.
Okay, then let me ask you.
It may not be the best thing. It may be selfish, but it's not disrespectful.
Okay, let me ask you this now.
I'm
Before we
clinging
watch
on to the key word here.
Yeah. Let me ask you this before we move on with the video. Let's say that because of the weight I've gained, I put more of a burden on you because I have an issue walking around the house now. And you've already got enough on your plate. Let's say there's kids in the picture. Forget kids. I won't go too extreme. But let's say you work a job, you come home, you got to look after me because my fat ass can't take myself to the gym. It's starting to become a strain in our relationship.
Yeah.
I can do something about it by simply going for walks or going to the gym, but I decide not to
Okay.
because you're supposed to love me. Is that not disrespectful?
I understand the point you're getting at there, and I think you're taking it to an extreme. I'm just talking in terms of your partner's gained weight,
I just want to know at
and
what
they
point
don't
you
want to
think-
go gym. I don't class that as a lack of self-respect to your partner.
No, but I just want to know at what point you think it's a lack of self-respect. Do you think my extreme example is a lack of self-respect?
No, I still think it's negligence and a lack of care, but I would not use the key word disrespectful or a lack of self-respect, no, a lack of respect towards your partner.
You are known for having a beautiful shape.
Well, it's not the same shape it was 20 years ago.
Right, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so go on. So
Well, I think
everybody's body changes.
Everybody's body changes, and if you had a husband that was telling you every time you put on weight, they'd be telling you every month if you're under 50, and if you're over 50, the menopause, you start to spread a little bit. It wouldn't be very nice. I wouldn't like to be told, you're fat, get down the gym.
I think there are ways that you can say you're in a good, constructive way. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see if you want to say somebody has put on some weight, then actually you're concerned about them. They're part of you. You know, you're with them for a long time as your partner. And I've turned around to my husband and said, you know, you've put on some weight. I've not said it in a sort of fat-shaming
But
kind
do
of
you
way.
honestly think your husband doesn't realise that he's put on weight? I mean, nobody's more conscious of their body than themselves. I mean, I know if I put on weight, so does my husband, and he's the first to say, I put on a bit of weight. And I say, no, you haven't. You look fine. He says, come
Yeah,
on.
but if you say, no, you haven't, you look fine, you're actually kind of perpetuating a little bit of a lie.
Well, no,
For me,
because I
if-
love him whatever size
Yeah,
he
but for
is.
me, if someone says to me, oh, how do I look, or do I look fat today, I turn around and say, actually, yeah, you do look a little bit larger. Because they...
Anyone or
No,
just
no,
your husband?
just to my husband. I wouldn't say it to anybody. No, Ben. But I think it's really important to be honest. It's honesty in a relationship. You've got to say that.
Yeah, I agree with him. You do have to be honest in a relationship, and there's ways to say it. I'm not going to walk up to my girlfriend and go, hey, babe, you're fat now, go to the gym. I might walk up to her and say, babe, like, it's starting to become noticeable.
You're looking a bit pudgy.
I wouldn't even say it like that. I would be very careful, especially talking to a woman. I'd be extremely careful with how I tread there because I'm talking about her looks now. But I would say it in a loving way because you want to nip it in the bud when it's 10 pounds. You don't want it to get to 60 pounds and you're like, babe, you're spilling over the sofa. This is a serious concern now. You know, if you love the person and they can't figure out for themselves, of course you should tell them.
The thing is,
I don't get that. Like, what is love to people? You just accept people for all of their bullshit? You don't help them grow as a person?
in the concept that they're talking, if somebody said to you, do I look fat today or do I look fat in this? They already know, that's why they're asking.
No.
And whereas if they didn't say anything, then maybe they don't know.
No, not,
So
not
like if
entirely
I
true.
said to you, do I look too skinny in this? It's because I personally think I look too skinny in this. So I'm asking you for, I don't know, confirmation.
In some instances, yes, but sometimes people could try a new outfit on that's unfamiliar to them, right? A new style, and they don't know how their body type looks in that. And you're just asking your partner for some confirmation. And sometimes your body does not complement the style of clothing you've put on, and it's
Yeah.
okay to say to them, "Don't really think that's for you." Maybe you're not necessarily fat. Your body type just doesn't complement what you're wearing.
If I was about to go out and I said to anyone, like my family, my friends, my partner, do I look too skinny in this? And they said yes. Do you know what I'll say? I'm not going.
You wouldn't just change.
No, I'm not going.
So you're just looking for a way out of the night.
That as well, but it's just it would upset me so much that I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going.
Well, I mean, if I've worn clothes before that are unfamiliar to me, that I haven't worn usually, and I've turned around to my partners at the time and said, "Hey, babe, does this look good on me? Does it look a bit off?" I want an honest answer. I don't want to go out looking like an idiot. I'll go and get changed. It's that simple. Like not everything you wear suits you, right? There's some people out there that can pull off everything, and most of us can't. And it doesn't mean you're fat or too skinny, although sometimes that could be the case as well. It just means that that particular thing wasn't working for you, and your partner, because they love and respect you enough, is honest with you so that you don't go outside and make yourself look like a fool. By that same token, if you have put on a lot of weight and you put on the dress that you were wearing when you were a size 8 and now you're a size 14, and I don't say to you, yeah, it looks a bit tight, in the nicest way possible, then how could I really say that I love you or I care about you when you're about to go outside and make yourself look stupid in a dress that you have no business wearing?
I mean, it's different if he asked me, but if he turned round to me when I was getting ready to go out and said, "You've put on a bit of weight, I think you better get down the gym," that would be my evening absolutely ruined. I wouldn't want to go out.
Nick,
Yeah, there's a time and a place.
When you've spoken to your husband and you've been honest about that, or he has been with you, has it ever been sort of painful? Has it ever been difficult to hear?
Yeah, I think it has. And I think, listen, I've been in relationships, Ben, when I woke up with somebody, or one morning we had coffee the next day, and he's like, "Oh, it's really funny, I've never dated a fat person before."
That's crazy. I wouldn't say that to somebody.
That's what I'm saying. There's ways to approach things, like you're saying. For example, if your partner put something on that didn't look nice, you could be like, I don't know, but maybe try this. Or you don't have to outright be like, "I don't like this because you look too fat." Just be like, I don't know if it's working. Let me see that other top.
The thing is that when you're honest about those sort of things, that's crazy. I wouldn't do that. But when you're honest about what someone's wearing, I think that when they do put on something that you find amazing, they're gonna believe you, because if you're just saying, "Yeah, you look great in that, you look great in that, you look great in that," they know you're lying at some point. And if they're happy to buy into that lie or whatever, but if you actually care about the person, I think it's good to tell them. Now, if you went on a date with a fat person or you slept with a fat person, I don't think you should say, "Wow, I've never slept with a fat person before." That's a mad thing to say to someone. I don't even understand why you would say that. You're not really giving constructive criticism there. You're just insulting them. I mean, you can keep that part to yourself. That's I don't know why you would say that.
Oh. That's it, I'm not going.
Wow.
And that was one of the worst. I know, Ranveer. I literally was like there going, "Okay, this is terrible.
This
and what a
relationship
way
might
to
not have
tell me.
legs."
This won't last. And have your coffee and bye." But the other thing too
there
is
you
that
go,
I did.
but-
But
yeah, but he
Linda, I
told
also
you,
thought to
and you
myself,
didn't like it.
actually, it was a wake-up call, and I had put on some timber, so I thought, actually, I am going to go to the gym.
But for some people, it wouldn't be a wake-up call. It would be a slap to their self-confidence. It could even start, food issues, anorexia. That people, if they think their partner's not going to fancy them anymore or going to leave them because they put on a bit of weight, it could become a real mental issue to them.
I'm sorry, but if that's the case, you're not in a loving, stable relationship then. If you're in a loving, stable relationship, that to me tells me that you know your partner, you know how they work because things are stable, and you love each other. So if your loving, stable partner turns around to you and says, "Hey, you've put on a few pounds, I think you should go to the gym," you should have the wherewithal to understand that my loving, stable partner who I've been with for some time is not doing this maliciously. They're just trying to push me in the right direction. That's not me saying, "Hey, baby, you're fat. Go and burn some calories." There's ways to go about it. You don't have to speak maliciously to people to get your point across. I would not say that to a girl I am just casually seeing. There's no point. But if you're in a relationship long term, kids are involved, or you have plans for the future and your partner's just putting weight on, yes, say something to them. Don't be the jackass that just sits there watching them gorge themselves, and then they wake up one morning, they look in the mirror and they go, "Babe, I'm fat," as they clutch their stomach that hangs over their jeans. Then you got to sit there and continue your lie. "No, babe, you still look good," because you've been lying for 10 years. Just tell the fucking truth. Then all the problems go away. You can get fit together. What are you so angry about?
I get your point.
I don't know. Your face says otherwise.
I get your point.
You're like,
However, it's not to say that your words, whether you're meaning it in a gentle way or not, can't affect someone. And I do think she's right in some sense of what she's saying. You know, things can really mentally impact someone, and it can cause things like eating disorders and stuff. Because naturally, as humans, you do always worry, is my partner still attracted to me? Or, I don't know, some people might have the fear that they might go out and cheat. And if your partner's mentioned that they think you're fat, then, you know, you might just spiral out.
Or how I
Mental
was.
health is a real thing.
Yeah, I'm well aware. Trust me,
Exactly.
it's 2023. I know.
Exactly.
But I would say that you're not really in a stable relationship. Then,
I disagree.
Sab, if you were with somebody and you trusted them completely, you knew they loved you, you'd been together for a long time, and they turned around to you and said, "Babe, you're still beautiful. I still love you. I'm not saying this because I want to be with somebody else." They give you all the reassurance you need, and then they say to you, "But I could see, you know, like been some changes. I'm not talking about like a pound or two. I'm talking noticeable changes.
Okay.
I would like you to maybe control what you're eating
Yes.
a bit more, or go to the gym." How could you then
Yes.
be mental health on that?
I think that the way you approach it means everything in this kind of situation. But regardless, it doesn't just have to come from your partner. It could be a family member who you're really close with, who you've got a really good relationship with, who you know each other inside and out. But that doesn't mean that it might still not affect you, because sometimes you might know that it's a problem and it upsets you.
Yeah, but if that's different, right? If I'm your friend, right? We see each other every week. If I
Yeah.
walked up to you and started saying, "I don't really have grounds to. You're not my girlfriend. You can do whatever you want outside of Midnight Rubbish. It's none of my business." So there's no reason for me to come and tell you. But if we were in a relationship, I got with you and you looked a certain way, and a couple years in, you've gained a noticeable amount of weight, I'm your partner. I have a right to say something. If you know that I love you and you know we've been together for a long time, you know I'm putting the ring on it, or I have already put the ring on it.
Doesn't mean
You've
it might not
assimilated-
still upset me.
It can upset you. It would upset me, right? To hear from my partner that they think I've put on weight. But me knowing that my partner loves and cares about me, I'll be like, right, this person who's sharing a life with me wants me to get back to where I was before, and where I was before was better than where I am now. It's all the way, it all depends on how you look at it. If your partner reassures you and you know that they love you, then that's on you. You need to sort out your emotions. If it's coming from me, I have no business telling you what to wear and how much weight you can and can't put on. If you come to me for advice, I'll be honest with you, but I'm not just going to say it to you because I have no business saying it. But your partner does have business saying it.
I have seen couples, though, say where one of the partners has had some sort of health issue. I know they'll go, "Oh, I'm not allowed to eat that, my wife doesn't let me." You know, there is a bit of that in relationships,
Yeah.
isn't there? As you get a bit older.
I think if it's a health issue,
if it's a health
different
issue.
thing. But if
health
it's a-
and vanity are two different things,
Yeah,
I guess,
absolutely.
when it comes to
Potentially,
weight gain.
it could become a health issue.
Right.
So surely you're sort of preventing something. And I fluctuated my weight, and I'm like, actually, you know what? As we get older, we need to think about those things. We go and have tests, etc. So actually, to keep fit and healthy is a really
Absolutely,
important priority.
I totally agree with the health and keeping healthy and eating well. But if somebody's got a little bit of which the reporter did, she just said it's a bit of jelly belly on her husband. I don't think that needs to be pointed out.
But I'd rather do that within the sort of the four walls of my own home than some people who kind of shame people, like you just said, Ranveer. If somebody sort of shames about eating food, if you're going out with a group of people, "Oh no, I'm not allowed that because they're on a diet," then it becomes a little bit difficult because you're actually sort of shaming someone. This is not about that for me. This is actually having a really adult conversation and saying, actually, we've put on weight, you've put on weight. I think we should discuss it.
Yeah, I'm 100% in this guy's corner. It's not about shaming people. I would not want my girlfriend to go to a restaurant with her friends and be like, "Oh, he said I put on weight, so I can't eat this." No, I'm not saying that. But I've been in a relationship where we've both put on weight. And I have turned around and said, "We've both put on weight. We both need to go to the gym." There's nothing wrong with that. You're a couple. You're supposed to pick yourselves up. I don't understand this nonsense where people just want to live in la la land. You're actively watching your partner deteriorate and you're not helping them. You can love somebody that has put on weight. No one's saying like drop them and you shouldn't endure that part of the relationship or whatever. But I don't understand how this is even a point of contention. You should want your partner to be in the best condition possible, right? And what she's saying with vanity and health, putting on weight is unhealthy
Yeah, I know,
in that
but
fashion.
Within this conversation, they're discussing it of just a little bit of belly flab, not really put on weight, like drastically. So
But okay, let me ask you then.
It's just a bit unnecessary.
If you got with a guy and he doesn't have, like, maintaining abs is difficult, right? So let's say he had a flat stomach, he's in good shape. Now, going into old age, obviously your body will naturally deteriorate. But so we're just going to talk within the confines of our age. If you got with a guy and he was in good shape, and that's how you got with him, that's what attracted you to him, and then he goes from wearing these tops where you can see the outline of his shoulders, his chest, to wearing tops where you can see the outline of his stomach, right? And it becomes noticeable, or not even like too noticeable, just a bit of belly flab, but he's losing his shape. You wouldn't say to him, "Hey babe, what's going on? You know, you were very athletic when we got together. You kind of, you wouldn't."
Number one, it's difficult to ask me this question because I've said it before, I like a guy with a bit of a belly. However, I also don't like confrontation. And so for me, I'm the sort of person where I don't like hearing any comments made about my physical appearance because of the way I feel about myself. So there's been a lot of people that have made comments about my physical appearance, and I know how it's made me feel. So I wouldn't ever want to make somebody feel that way themselves. So you could see it as a negative because you might see it as I'm not looking out for them. But at the same time, I wouldn't ever want to make them feel shit about their appearance, because if you tell someone that, obviously it's not going to make them feel good, and I just don't want people to feel the way I've been made to feel at times.
So would you, let's say that it's not just a bit of belly fat then. Let's say that
if he started getting really fat and we've been together for a long time, yes, I would probably say something.
But what if all the same rules apply, the things you just said, hurting their feelings, confrontation?
This is it. It's difficult. It's difficult.
So, but you do have your limit as well, is what you're saying?
I don't know. Like, if he went obese, then yeah, I'd have to. But if he didn't go obese, then no, probably not.
Okay, that's fine.
And I think what it really highlights is that underneath all of this, that we have wrapped up weight with attractiveness so deeply that we now can't separate the two. We can't separate health from attractiveness, if that makes sense. It's like weight is this thing, isn't it, that we look at, and it's, you know, it's such a testy subject, whereas really what you're saying, Nick, is you can talk about weight in terms of health and it be a kind conversation, or you can talk about weight in a way that is shaming and hurtful and I don't find you attractive anymore.
Absolutely.
Underneath it, you might not say those things,
well,
but underneath
she
the
did,
surface.
didn't she? She said,
yes.
you know, you're fat, get down the gym.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I talk about weight, as you just said, from a kind point of view and actually a constructive point of view. Because if you ask somebody why they've put on weight and they might say, actually, you know what, I'm having a really tough time, and weight is, you know, going to eat more food is kind of an easier way than doing other things.
I think over 1 in 3 people in the UK are overweight at the moment. So there is obviously a problem.
Can I just ask you, if you were with somebody and you were in the shape you're in now, right? You're in good shape. And then you started gaining weight, but you weren't really paying attention because you're having fun in the relationship. You're too caught up in the lovey-dovey stage. You're going out and enjoying. And you become noticeably bigger, but you're still not really paying attention. You wouldn't want your partner to say, hey, as somebody that takes pride in their appearance, you wouldn't want somebody that loves and cares about it to stop you from going down a road that would be hard to return from.
I think as someone who's very self-aware, I can't imagine myself in that situation to even answer that question for you, because if I started getting really fat, I would know it. When I get too skinny, I know it. Like, for example, I'm going to show you a picture. This is from when I went to Miami. And I lost so much weight before going to Miami because I was really sad. And
Do you want me to cut this out?
You don't have to cut it out, but just, you obviously can't show the picture. But I knew that I looked really skinny. And even my sister said it to me. She said, Sabi, I feel scared. Like, you're really skinny. I'm worried about you.
Did you get offended when she said that?
No, but I was still upset because I knew that was a fact.
Did you appreciate that she looked out for you?
Yeah, I knew it was coming from a place of care.
So then you could understand if your partner did it.
But looking back at the picture, now I look and I'm like, wow, like that was really skinny. Look at my legs. That's disgusting.
Oh, disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Yeah, you know, you've put. I can even see it in your face. But look, the point is, right, is that you kind of contradicted yourself just now, because your sister looked out for you and you said you can't imagine because you're self-aware. But your sister noticed it, right? And she pointed out to
But
you.
I was already aware that I was really skinny.
Right, but what I'm saying is that a scenario happened where someone said something to you and you didn't react negatively because you knew it was coming from a place of love.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I in that situation, you said if I didn't know that I was gaining weight and he told me, but if I knew I was gaining weight and he told me, yes, I'd get upset about it because I know it's true what he's saying, but am I going to get offended that he told me? No. But am I still going to feel shit in myself? Yes, because I know I'm not at a nice, decent size.
That's fine. I would feel shit as well. But I wouldn't be offended either. But what I'm saying is that something that you would welcome into the relationship, for him to be open and honest with you in terms of your appearance?
To a certain extent.
Obviously, if he's not being an arsehole, if he says,
Yeah.
hey, babe, you know, what's going on with, let's
To
say
a certain extent.
yeah, let's say you got that skinny, right? Because there would be a point where I might say something to you.
If
right?
I got that skinny where it's unhealthy, then yes, he can say something. If I got obese, yes, he can say something. But if I'm just gaining weight or losing weight, but it's not drastic, then no, don't say anything to me. Now you're just being picky.
Okay, fair enough. I think it all depends on the dynamics of your relationship as well.
It does.
And it depends on how thick your partner's skin is, no pun intended. If there's someone that can take... This fly has the entire room. Do I stink or something?
You must do.
Why is it coming next to me? This bitch ass got stuck in my hair earlier when you lot weren't looking. What was I saying? Fuck's sake, man.
The dynamics and how thick your partner's skin is, no pun intended.
Yeah. So, like me, for example, I don't get offended by much. There's you would be hard pressed to find something that offends me. So I really appreciate if my partner comes and says to me, Mike, you're gaining a few, get in the gym. That would even motivate me to go even harder. But if you've got somebody that's very sensitive, like our Sabi here, then you probably got to tread carefully.
No, it would still motivate me to go hard in the gym, but it would still upset me at the same time.
But what I'm saying is the wording.
Yep.
If my partner said to me, Mike, you're getting fat, I wouldn't get offended. I'd be like, all right, cool. I'll go look in the mirror. I'll be like, you're right, cool. I need to go to the gym. If your partner came up to you and said, Sabi, you're getting fat, you wouldn't appreciate that at all.
If I was fat, like fat, then yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I know.
Oh, you wouldn't get upset?
Like I said to you, if I'm really skinny or I'm really fat and they tell me, I will agree. I'll be like, yeah, I know. You're right.
Okay, no, what I said is you're getting fat. So I've put on a bit of pounds. I haven't got fat. I'm not super fat yet.
Yeah, it just depends on the context. I need to be set in a scene, in a room, what's happening, what have I been going through, etc. before I can answer these questions. I'm too...
Okay,
you know.
fair enough. Well, ultimately, to round it up, I sit on, be honest with your partner. If you love them and you have certain expectations of the relationship, you should be open and honest about it. But obviously, just be mindful of who you're dealing with and go about in a loving and respectful way that will motivate them to do the right thing and not push them into a hole where they're too insecure to even leave the house. That's why I sit on it.
Fair enough.
Anything else you want to add?
No.
What is wrong with you?